jasmine tea. You're watching RSS Commentary with Cale McCullough on Friday, November 12th, 2020. And today's top story from Batshit Crazy 2020, we got Portland Autonomous Zone has been set up. It's huge. The political prosecutor in the McCloskey case got disqualified. And the pro-democracy leader in Hong Kong, Jimmy Lai, was charged under the national security law that is extra-territorial, and that I probably also, too, have a warrant out for my arrest because it's that bad of a law. So today's top batshit crazy story here from the post-millennial, Portland's autonomous zone arrestees have been their charges immediately dropped. It says every person arrested at the growing Red House Autonomous Zone, or RAZ, in Portland has their charges immediately dropped by the far left district attorney that we got to get rid of. I live in Eugene, Oregon, and I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of these Antifa Nazis that are insanely hypocritical. They're like out there threatening to punch Nazis while at the same time they're repping Marxism and talking about how we need to get rid of our culture because it's white, and that means that it's bad because white people took the land from the American Indians after up to 95% of them died from smallpox before most of them ever even met a white man. And then 6% of people own slaves that they got from Africans. And somehow that's our fault that we freed the slaves. But it's nice and easy to blame the white man when you're in the hood and you're a hood Democrat, because Republicans mostly live in poor rural states. They're in these big cities are run by Democrats. So when the person is not there to defend the straw man argument, when you pull out the straw man and you say, hey, look, this looks like this straw man. Therefore, my enemy's argument is invalid. It's nice and easy to do that logical fallacy when you're in the city in a groupthink heterodoxy echo chamber. But it's a little bit harder when you're dealing with conservatives, because we know that we're not in the city where you're saying you're oppressed. And you're saying you're getting the cops coming after you and that your people are dying. But these are state and local laws. So you got to ask yourself, what on earth does Donald Trump, the president of the United States, have anything to do with your state and local laws that are causing the police brutality that is causing your people to get killed? Well, probably the war on drugs. Probably blame that. You could probably blame the Democrats selling us out to China, shipping our manufacturing over there, doing tax cut incentives when they had Bill Clinton in control of the White House, when China Joe Biden was authoring the 1994 crime bill that put so many African Americans in jail, the one that they're bitching about, the one that the African Americans supported because the crime was so bad. So, like, oh, okay. So Donald Trump somehow is the bad person because he said, grab her by the pussy and we're going to build the wall, baby. And Mexico is not sending us their finest people. So that makes him a racist, sexist, xenophobe. That means that he's fascist. So we got to get out the Antifa Nazis and go downtown and we got to burn the city down and we got to take over the white people's property whenever they evict us because we're not working and we're not paying rent, even though that was at the beginning of the pandemic. You can't just take over the neighborhood, though. Let's see what are these wingnuts doing. It says radical left whacktivists have been occupying the property known as quote-unquote Red House on North Mississippi Avenue for months to protect squatters who were legally served multiple eviction notices. But a police raid earlier this week led to a series of arrests and acted as the spark for the start of the autonomous zone later in that day. Alex Blake Lucero, 26, was arrested for interfering with a peace officer, resisting arrest, and second-degree trespassing. All of her charges were quickly dropped by the far leftist Multnomah County District Attorney. In August, Lucero was convicted for vandalism-related crimes, and she was sentenced after failing to appear in court, so she's an absconder. 44-year-old transsexual Lester Lou Rexy, a formerly known as Teresa Lou Gonwart, was arrested for second-degree trespassing after he was released without bail, and charged against him were immediately dropped. Rexy was previously arrested at a declared riot on July 1st. I like to say that they are race riots because they're rioting in a city where there's almost all white people, where there's 3% black people in the city, and the people that are there are committing the crimes at 3 times the higher rate of the white people. So if they do ever criticize this group of people, it's because some of them are legitimately doing bad things. But of course, that does not mean all the people in Portland. Most of the people in Portland are wonderful people. But you know, you do come up with these sketchy fools downtown. All these people banging heroin that they're getting from the illegal immigrants from the Mexican cartel. The stuff like got fentanyl in it. They're getting from China. And then they're out here race rioting. Because like, oh, it's an indigenous person who got kicked out of their house. They're like, okay. What about all the white people that got kicked out of their house? Like, oh no, they're part of the dominant class, and they oppress the oppressed class, and their skin color is white, and but we can't discriminate against the women, because if we did that, then that would be misogyny. So you can only really target the white man like me, because my skin color and my gender and my place where I was born mean that I am not supposed to be here, because they took the land from the American Indians after they died from smallpox, because they didn't have a microscope that was invented by a white man, or the vaccines. If they only had that smallpox vaccine, none of this would have happened, all right? But not really our fault that there was nobody living here, and then we immigrated here because they didn't have a government, and there was the people who were there, liked us until they turned on us. And eventually, we had to use our boomsticks to lay down the law, and we took over. And sadly, there's not enough American Indians, because they've been on this socialism shit and causing drug and alcohol problems and lots of murders on the reservation. So obviously, getting free money from the government ain't helping them out. If it was, then people would be wanting to move to the res. And if people were wanting to move to the res, they'd say, get the fuck out. But it's okay for them to do that. But if we build a wall because Mexico's flooding up through here and taking over Southern California, then that means that we're racist because we're trying to prevent Mexico from spilling over the border. And that means that we gotta stop anybody who's evicting indigenous people or non-white people because the white people are the dominant people and they're oppressing the oppressed class of people. And because of this, we gotta attack their white privilege, and we got to sick Xena, social justice warrior, to go attack. And she gets all her beta male attack dogs that coming after you, calling you misogynist, sexist, racist, transphobic, homophobic, just about every other negative label that they could attach to you. And then they say, why aren't you voting for me? Why are you voting for the white supremacist Republican? Like, why aren't you voting for the dude who supported segregation? Why aren't you voting for the dude who passed the 1994 crime bill that put all the black people in the jails and caused all the police brutality? Why don't you put them in jail? Because the race riot was never about Donald Trump. It was about getting your China Joe Biden back in the White House so he could undo all of the good things that Trump's done with China and immigration and taxes. And we got to change everything back every single 4 years, destroy everything the last president did, because it's not fair to everybody, because the white man is the dominant class and they oppressing the oppressed class of people, as if every single white person is part of the dominant class of white people. As if when you attack privilege, white privilege of some poor person, like that doesn't hurt them. Like, no. Like Facebook recently made anti-black racism more of a priority than anti-white racism. Like, if you are shaming the white man, or if you're shaming men for being sexist, they don't care if you're attacking white male privilege, because that's the dominant class and they oppress the oppressed class. And somehow, even though the average age of the white man is 58, or the white people is 58, somehow we're like the dominant class. We're like all 58, and most of the minorities are like 23 average age. So apparently it's like, this justifies now just taking over large swaths of the neighborhood, turning it into a lawless autonomous zone, because white people are bad because they took the land from the American Indians and they tried to evict a native, an indigenous person. And crazy, I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room. It was cold down there. It was so cold that I died. And then the rats came and they gnawed on me and it drove me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy. And then it just goes right down the shit chute to crazy land, you know? Just like in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You're like, where it stops, nobody knows. Reading on in the article, going down the shit chute to crazy land in 2020, rioters threw large rocks at cops and started fires in the residential neighborhood area that summer. His felony riot, second-degree disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest charges were all dropped as well. On Heckley's Facebook page... Wait, I missed the first one. Heckley had previously been arrested at a declared race riot on July 1st when Antifa tried to attack Portland Police Association office and later nearby police station. I think we covered this a number of times. They burnt this police station down and the ICE facility so many times. I stopped covering the stories because it's like, all right, I already got like, how many videos have they got of them burning this police station and the ICE facility down? Like at a certain time, I just stop paying attention. Like, all right, poor city burning down, like, and then they show you all the parts of this the city that aren't burned down. They're like, oh no, this ain't happening. It's fake news. And you go downtown, it's like a full-blown race riot. On Rexy's Facebook page, he called on others to support Red House sovereignty the day after his arrest. I'm without a phone and easy access to things is currently, semicolon, but I'm free and defending the land. Rexy wrote, he claimed also that property damage is not violence. Until they throw a firework in your front window and it explodes in your little daughter's face and it sets your house on fire and kills your family. Or they shine laser pointers in and blind you, and then while you're blinded, you trip over something, you break your back, now you're in a wheelchair. Charles Esnet Stubbs, 41, was arrested for second-degree trespassing and felony possession of body armor. He was quickly bailed out. Both his charges were dropped. Quote, DHS, go duck yourself, open bracket 6, close bracket. I hope you choke your own gas, you good-for-nothing swines. You prey on the weak and randomly shooting protesters, and quote, Stubbs tweeted on July 23rd. A day later, he claimed that he was hit by a 40-millimeter gas container. Good. Two of the suspects arrested are part of the Kinney family who defaulted on the house's loan all the way back in 2018. So this has been going on for a while. They've been trying to evict these people for a while. And they living in the Wild West out there up in Shaz, is it? Was like autonomous zone or something up in Portland. He was previously arrested on Michael Paul Kinley's 30 was arrested for first-degree trespassing when he was quickly released without bail and had a single charge against him was dropped. He was previously arrested on November 5th when a large crowd of Antifa Nazis marched through the home of a Portland City Commissioner, Dan Ryan, and vandalized his residence in retaliation for voting against the proposal to defund the police. Because if you don't back their demands to defund the police, you're against them, and they're going to come burn your building down with your family inside of it because of fairness and because of race. His brother, 35-year-old William Kenny, was also arrested this week for first-degree trespassing. He was quickly released without bail, and a single charge against him was dropped. He has an extensive criminal history in Multnomah County. In 2007, he was charged with felony possession of cocaine, felony driving while suspended, felony delivery of cocaine in the third degree, escape. The later two charges were dismissed. He also has multiple counts of contempt of court. Here's the lovely gentleman right here. So obviously, if you want to get some good cocaine, that's who you go to. Jonathan Lelige, 25, was arrested for second-degree trespassing. He was quickly bailed out on the single charge against him was dropped. Lelige was previously convicted for second-degree criminal mischief in July and sentenced to 2 years of probation after one felony count of first-degree criminal mischief was dismissed against him in a separate December 2019 case. Matthew David Stewart, 31, was arrested for second-degree trespassing. He was quickly released without bail, and the single charge against him was dropped. Stewart was arrested and charged with second-degree criminal mischief that year. His trial readiness hearings for this case is scheduled for December 31st. Here is the lovely gentleman right there. He looks hireable in the ivory tower. Let's give this dude a job as a CEO. Let him burn the corporate establishment down and destroy the place. The following had all three charges dropped. Asher Ember Brimstone 30 was arrested for first-degree trespassing. All right, no negative comments about his appearance. Christopher Mark Wilkins, 43, was arrested for second-degree trespassing. Here is the lovely gentleman right there with the neck beard. Emperor Array, 38, was arrested for first-degree trespassing. Joshua C. Rogers, 40, was arrested for second-degree trespassing. Patrick Sterling Hafer, 24, was arrested for first-degree trespassing. Brianna Bonham, 23, was arrested for interfering with peace officers in the autonomous zone. Nicholas Tatsane Pio Chai was arrested for second-degree trespassing and Hey, you know, we got to give credit where credit is due, all right? Almost every single race riot that we've covered in Portland, Oregon, it's almost all white people. And if you want to know why, it's because they white feminists and they out protesting for equality because it's a equality movement over there in the Trump hating hate group. But sorry, I was saying something. They say they're race rioting for equality, but in reality, they're just wanting more pay for themselves as white women, while they attack white privilege, while they say it's the privileged white man that's holding them down in their privileged white woman job with their dank paycheck and their boyfriend that makes more money than them. But in reality, they're just lying. They're self-serving. They're out there for themselves because they think that their side is politically winning when they do this. When they race riot for peace, it all of a sudden justifies, it makes it morally acceptable to burn down people's businesses in the middle of a pandemic when they're already hit hard enough by the pandemic. Then you go burn the business down saying, oh, they got insurance, until they burn down the whole block. And then the insurance company says it's an act of God and they don't give you no money. Like, thank you. That business was minority owned. Fuck you. Malik Fakhan, 26, was arrested for interfering with a peace officer and resisting arrest. Benjamin Einhorn, 32, was arrested for interfering with a peace officer. Coral Cloutman, 31, was arrested for second-degree disorderly conduct. Stephen Wines, 24, was arrested for second-degree disorderly conduct and interfering with a peace officer. He was previously arrested on August 23rd, race riots, with several officers who were injured for interfering with a peace officer, resisting arrest, and second-degree, oh shoot. Well, what can I say? The iPad's not too reliable. So let's watch some videos of the race rioting.
to make this quick. Amicus, if you don't know me, I've been the public safety lead at Red House for the past 3 months or so. So real quick, I just wanted to say that, you know, a lot of people are kind of new to kind of what we're doing in this space. And one thing I noticed and stuff that could definitely be tightened up is communications. So this afternoon we will be having a conversation about communications and protocol and how we do threat assessment so that we're effectively communicating with each other between each barriers. Also know that a lot of my team members are on pretty much stationed on every single position at all times of the day, so if there is a problem, find somebody with a mic. We're probably all linked in together, and as they were saying a second ago, we're all here in this together, so let's work with each other and stuff, and let's fucking do this.
Thank you, Ickes. Thanks for keeping us safe, Ickes.
Here's another video of the race riots. But they are pounding down a cop car. They're getting more violent. They're just straight up going after the cops to hurt them. I remember last year was not, or earlier this year, it was not anywhere near this violence against the police. They were claiming it was a peaceful protest. I don't think they're making any sort of claims that this is a peaceful protest right now.
What's up, homie? You too, you specifically. I'm gonna knock you out.
And that dude just opened up the cop car door whenever it was opened. I think that's just crazy. Like, where are these people like getting these manners from? I guess their parents did not raise them right. Maybe they were in the public education system for too long. Here's the outside of the autonomous zone that they're setting up. Looks like they're ready for battle over here. They're ready for the quote-unquote fascist police to come enforce the laws for the democracy that the people voted in. Because apparently voting and police are now fascist. But I guess in crazy land, everything is fascist, right? Here we got another view of the outside of the race riots. I guess that's what happens when you let them do whatever they want. They race rioting to get Trump out of office, because somehow Trump is responsible for all of the state and local laws in all of the states where they're race rioting, where he doesn't live, pay taxes, or vote. But I guess when you're going down the shit shoot to crazy land, everything starts to look the same. Now here's another video of them attacking some police cruisers in Portland. Maybe this was the same one we just watched. See, watch this other one. We got this man up over here, up in the autonomous zone. They're burning
I
wood.
call him Blandy
Looks
No-Go.
like plywood. It's got glue on it.
Yes, there we go.
It says Antifa. It says
milkshake?
Come on now.
Antifa, write my name on a sign and set it on fire outside of Portland Autonomous Zone.
I wish I had
The name being Andy Knows name. Dustin Farina asked if someone had a milkshake, referencing how far Antifa beat me last year. They threw milkshakes in my bleeding face like a little punk.
1, 2, 3. Fuck Andy, no!
I call him Blandy No-Go.
Blandy No-Go.
Yes, there we go.
Here's another video of Portland police retreating like pussies, both on foot and vehicle, after responding to the Antifa autonomous zone in North Portland yesterday. The street occupation has continued to grow in hours since more comrade reinforcements have come to protect the zone. Here's another video of them. I can't hear what they're saying. My audio's not working. It's Twitter. Got some stuff. There's another video, an aerial scene of the what looks like supply tent. You see what looks like some water containers here, and possibly some medical supplies or some food. Looks like we got a porta potty. They're setting up tables to give away free stuff because they commies. Trying to sell you on socialism. They're like, just go with socialism and then you'll get free stuff like down here in the homeless camps. They just give it out. Right. Then you got like a 3-mile line. And then by the time you get up to the line, they're out. That's what happens in socialist countries, man. We got another video
You
of
guys, this is our job.
attacking a local Portland reporter, Geneva Brown, at autonomous zone yesterday. She was left with a
You
head
guys, this is our
injury
job.
and smashed both bones.
This is our life. You get paid to just take it.
Woo! They're violent. They're getting more violent because they won. And because they won, it means that now they're justified to race riot. And you thought that they were going to stop race rioting when they won the election? No. No. That's when it starts to get worse because they got what they wanted. They got their way. And now they've learned that they can do this and they can continue to get whatever they want. All they got to do is just race riot, burn the city down, and then you can get away with taking over, making an autonomous zone. Here,
what did I tell you guys? People are fucking pissed. The Red House is a big fucking deal.
Sorry about that. Wow, they're just going in full-blown assault with paramilitary style actions.
Damn,
they just use smoke weapon.
Holy shit, you can't see shit out of that front window.
Utilizing projectiles. utilizing
I tell you
hatred,
guys,
hostility,
people are
and
fucking
violence
pissed. This is the Red House is a big fucking deal.
as they call the other people the fascists. Oh, damn. That cop just hit that car. Here's a drone view of the Portland Autonomous Zone. Wow. I mean, wow. I mean, can it get any crazier? No, because Donald Trump is at the Supreme Court. Right now, they are building the wall as fast as they can to help protect our people from the floods of the migrants that now got word that Joe Biden, China Joe, might be in the White House. And then now we got migrant caravans flooding to the United States because they want what we have. And you can't blame them, but you can't let everybody in the world move up to your country. But to these people, they say, nope, the white man doesn't have a right to be here because they took the land from the American Indians. And after most of them died from smallpox, up to 95%. And because of the 6% of white people that own slaves that they bought from Africans, that means that we are now all of a sudden bad for freeing the slaves and bringing the world democracy. And that's why everybody wants to move here. That's why after World War II, after Europe banned hate speech, America was still the best place to be. And that's because we could say whatever we want. As long as it doesn't directly affect somebody else, such as libel, tort, slander, or injury that occurs from that speech, which is all the protection that you need from hate speech or whatever you want to call it. But in reality, the biggest threat that we face is intraracial hatred, not interracial hatred. If you look at the majority of the deaths that's happened over the past 100 years,
I go wide because I don't want to get a lot of people, but you can see
come from white people killing white people, black people.
You can see the secondary fence over there being built on the left side.
Killing Chinese.
I'm going to call that the left side.
Russians killing Russians, man.
And
that's where it's South Americans.
Yeah, over here we're
South
pretty good.
Americans. Mexicans killing
so
Mexicans.
Over here
man.
we got this.
The problem has never
Hold on, sorry, my
really
gimbal's
been
getting pulled.
about racism.
There's another fence over
why
here.
Why were the white people even
Hilarious.
racist in the beginning?
So we're going to go wide because I don't want to get a lot of people, but you.
Why were the white people even racist in the beginning? The white people were racist because they invented modern society and they thought they were superior because they did that. And it had something to do with their blood because they were into some spooky pseudoscience stuff mixed with weird religious beliefs that are not held anymore. And today, people don't think they're genetically superior. But they still fight the endless fight of racism because it's the big bad boogeyman that you could just blame all your problems on when you fuck up in school, you go off and party and do drugs, have sex, womanize, end up with multiple baby mamas, you're treating like bitches and hoes. And then you don't invest in your kids while the white man does, and so do the Asians. And then their kids do better because instead of buying flashy stuff, they put the money into the kids. Instead of going out and partying and doing drugs, they stayed at home working, doing homework, doing it right. And then they come after you, say you got this white privilege, like there's something wrong with you because your skin color. They can't discriminate against white women because that's misogyny, so you can only do it against white men. And then they say, oh no, racism against white people is not a problem. No, people aren't robbing your house because you're white and they think you got more money. No, people aren't like beating you up because you're white because of anti-white racism, because that can't exist. No, it only works with the dominant class oppressing the oppressed class, because supposedly everywhere black people are minority in America, as if there's not places where they're the majority of people. Okay, well, there's definitely places where they're the majority, so they're not always the minority. So why is that? Because historically, white people have just came from the North, man. It's not racism. It's not segregation, dude. It's just the way that we were evolved. But to them, everything is racism because they're blaming the white man for their own failures. Let's keep going on this. What do we got? More race rioting here. We already saw that one. We got another race rioting here.
Down. Shut
Now the armed, they got guns.
Justice.
Woo! These people be crazy. Woo! For what? These people got their eviction notice before the pandemic. What are these people doing? These people are crazy. Who the hell are these people supporting that? Like a Marxist? I guess, yeah. I guess that would explain exactly what they're race rioting for. They're doing it because they don't like the white man's quote unquote racist culture, because they ended up on top of the social pyramid because they did everything right. And the African Americans ended up on the bottom because they did most of the things wrong. Instead of saving their money, they went and bought flashy clothes, Air Jordans, expensive cars, jewelry to bling so they could show that they're the pimp and the hustler. They got, they're balling, so you should hook up with them tonight. Go back home so they can treat you like a bitch and a hoe. Gangbang you. And then they say the white man is bad because the white man is the one that is the dominant class. And so that means since they're the oppressed class, then it's okay to attack them constantly, as if that won't do any harm to them. While at the same time, they're screaming about equality as they race riot. That's about it that I got for the story. Don't forget to smash that like button down below. Drop me a comment. Did you agree or disagree? How stupid are these people? Does this bitch look crazy as fuck? What do you think about these Portland race riots? Are you tired of them? We want to know. Drop it down below in the comments. RSS Commentary is an open source news organization. You can find us on GitHub at github.com/RSS Commentary. For this show, if you find any factual errors, we use these issue tickets. You can find it at github.com/RSS Commentary /Cale McCullough /issues/115. That'll take you to this site, and you can find links to all of the articles below. And if you find any sort of factual errors, you can just reference them by the number of the articles. That particular article was Article 1, and you can just put that in brackets. And then you don't got to write the name of the story or anything. Make sure if you get any use out of Post Millennial that you subscribe, support their work. Very good. Ooh. Oh, shoot. Hold on. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's this one, right? In this next story from Breitbart, court disqualifies Soros-backed prosecutor Kim Gardner for fundraising off McCloskey case. Oops. A judge in St. Louis has kicked George Soros-backed circuit attorney Kim Gardner off the prosecution of Mark McCloskey because she used the case in fundraising emails. Mark and his wife Patricia were charged with 2 felonies and unlawful use of a weapon and tampering with evidence after they emerged on their porch with a pistol and an AR-15 to confront black looter mob Antifa Nazi race rioters in their private property in June. They have pleaded not guilty. Gardner sent 2 fundraising emails in which she mentioned the case. St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported on Thursday. Circuit Judge Thomas Clark II's order said 2 fundraising emails that Gardner's re-election campaign sent in response to political attacks before and after she charged Mark and Patricia McCloskey with felony gun crimes in July raised the appearance that she initiated a criminal prosecution for political purposes. And quote, we've been saying that all along. I've been tired of these people targeting people, letting the race riot, burn our cities down in the middle of a pandemic. Quote, like a needle pulling thread, she links the defendant and his conduct to her critics. And quote, Clark wrote, quote, these emails are tailored to use the June 28th indictment to solicit money by positioning her against defendants and her more vocal critics, end quote. In bracket, the McCloskeys sought to disqualify Gardner from the case, arguing that she exploited the case for political gain when her campaign mentioned them in fundraising emails weeks before the Democratic Party primary in August. State law directs the St. Louis Circuit Court's presiding judge to appoint another prosecutor in the case. And the order says Patricia McCloskey case is assigned to Circuit Judge Michael Stetzler, who will replace Circuit Judge Rex Burleson as St. Louis presiding judge next year. Patricia McCloskey's attorney will reportedly ask the court to remove Gardner from her case for the same reason. Gardner tweeted Thursday that she would be reviewing the court's order and evaluating options. Here's a tweet from Circuit Attorney at STLCAO. Statement from Circuit Attorney Office, City of St. Louis. Today, the media reported on a judge's ruling on the Mark McCloskey case prior to any official notification. We will review the court order and determine our options. And then here it's got the letterhead. Shows you from on December 10th, statement from the Circuit Attorney Office, City of St. Louis. Today, the media reported on judge's ruling. think we just read that. Gardner received nearly $200,000 in the 2016 election from Soros-backed Safety and Justice Committee and received $116,000 from the Soros-backed Missouri Justice and Public Safety PAC in the 2020 elections. Soros has funded left-wing prosecutors across the country, including Kim Foxx in Chicago and George Gascon in Los Angeles. So that would explain why we got some whack jobs up in Portland letting the race rioters go. They got that Portland autonomous zone going on right now. They just took over because some people, they were indigenous people or something. I don't know. They weren't paying their rent back in 2018, back before the pandemic. And so they've had eviction notices on these people for years and they won't leave. And then eventually, when shit hit the fan, they just took over with the autonomous zone and just went full-blown race riot. The McCloskey spoke on behalf of President Donald J. Trump, the king of memes, during the Republican National Convention in August. Joel B. Pollack, a senior editor at large at Breitbart News. Okay, that's who wrote the article. If you would like more about this article, you can find the link to it at github.com/RSS commentary /Cale McCullough /issues/114 for this show. You can find links to this article if you're too lazy to type in that. Although, if you're too lazy to type that in, then I'm pretty sure you're not going to type in the web address either. If you like this content, don't forget to smash the like button. Drop me a comment down below. What do you think about this political prosecutor? What do you think about these Portland Antifa Nazi race rioters? What do you think about the targeting of the McCloskeys for political purposes? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Go ding. And then you'll be notified when I go live. Okay, so what do I got to do? Sorry, I just got this setup figured out. I'm still working out the bugs in it. I need to what do I gotta do?